everyone, I'm here in my mum's house. I'm staying for a few days in the northeast of England, and I thought I would film another walking and reading vlog. I filmed one a few weeks ago which was inspired by Matthew Sharappa, and I'll link my previous video in the description box down below. But basically in that video I decided I would take a walk around London whilst listening to an audiobook. In that case it was I Am by Maggie O'Farrell, and I would show you the walk that I was doing, and I was walking along Regent's Canal and various other parts of London, and then occasionally I would stop and tell you about the audiobook that I was listening to. And when I stopped, I might also read a short story, and I was reading Sing of the Shore by Lucy Wood, and I'd tell you about that as well. So because I'm back in the northeast for a few days, I thought I would do one of these and show you where I grew up. So I'm going to walk across Clevedon Hills and along to Marsden, Whitburn, Roker, show you the sea, show you some of my favourite lighthouses, and also point out some things that were inspiration for some of my books as well. So if you've read some of my books, you may come to understand why I'm a bit obsessed with the sea and everything to do with it. It's because of where I grew up. I wanted to start a new audiobook on this walk. I am actually currently listening to Ruby and the Smoke by Philip Pullman, which I've never listened to before, which is ridiculous considering his Dark Materials is my favourite book of all time. So I am listening to that, but I wanted to start something new for this walk. So I asked on Twitter for audiobook recommendations, and something that crept up time and time again was Educated by Tara Westover, which has been on my radar for a while. So I've downloaded that, and I'll be listening to that as I walk, and I'll be talking to you about it. It's a memoir. Tara grew up in a family who thought that the end of the world was coming, and she was very much cut off from society. So it is about her life. And when I stop, I may read short stories from The Sing of the Shore by Lucy Wood, which is the short story collection that I was reading in the first video. Actually, I'm still reading it, but it's very, very blustery and windy outside. Summer isn't really here at the moment, so I'm not sure how much reading I'll be doing outside. I'm going to shove my walking shoes on. The route that I take I'll make into a map, and I'll link it in the description box down below if you're interested. But first, let's head over to Clevedon Hills. This area is called Clevedon Hills, and I used to come here a lot when I was younger. There's a topless windmill over there, which is apparently haunted. There are some clouds over there that don't look like they're going to be my friend. I look very windswept. I walked across Clevedon Hills to Whitburn and had a cup of tea and a toasted tea cake because it was raining, so I hid from the rain a little bit, and now I'm walking along towards Souter Lighthouse and onto South Shields. I read two short stories by Lucy Wood while I had my cup of tea. One of them was a ghost story that was told just through conversation, people gossiping in a local pub about a haunted house, but it had a comedy twist at the end, which I wasn't expecting. And I'm currently listening to Educated, and I'm really drawn in by it. Tara's talking about growing up in a family where she didn't have a birth certificate, she wasn't sent to school, and her childhood was just a very different experience to most other people's, and her encountering the world that I guess most of us take for granted, and the systems that are in place for the first times, and how strange that is. The way that she talks about the landscape is particularly beautiful, and it's quite fitting considering that I'm walking past some rather beautiful scenery myself, though hers is mountainous and obviously this is coastal. So I'm going to keep on walking. peaceful today. It's beautiful, and no one else is on the beach at the moment. I've got it all to myself, I guess because it was a really stormy day earlier and it wasn't looking like good weather, but it's all calmed down now. I'm still really enjoying Educated. I just reached the bit where there was an accident when she was younger, and I don't want to have spoilers or anything, but dealing with accidents and medical emergencies when her father won't let them communicate with hospitals or doctors. It's slightly claustrophobic, actually. So the book is doing its job, but I've put it away for a minute just so that I can just listen to the sounds of the sea for a bit, because it's very peaceful. It's a couple of days later and I'm back in London, and I wanted to finish this video. I know I said that summer hadn't arrived, but it did the next day, so I thought I would insert some footage here of South Shields Pier, and the sky was so blue. There are so many lighthouses along that coastal route. My favourite is actually Roker Lighthouse, which I didn't go to on that walk because when I got to Whitburn I was going to go to Roker, but I decided to take a longer walk and went north instead, up to South Shields. As I said, there will be a map in the description box down below of the route that I took if you happen to be interested. I listened to Tara Westover's Educated on the train coming back, so I'm about 2/3 of the way through now, and it really is fantastic. I will say, if you're a little bit squeamish, there are parts that are a little bit intense, but I'm just finding it absolutely captivating, and the audio narration is fantastic. So if you happen to be drawn to picking up the audiobook, it comes with my recommendation, and I'll speak about it more in a wrap up when I've finished reading it. When I went on the walk, I also walked past Cleveland Village Church, which I will insert the little clip of here, and I had said that I would point out things that had been inspiration for some of my writing, and this is the setting for Margaret and Mary and the End of the World. If you've read my latest book, a short story collection called The Beginning of the World in the Middle of the Night, the contents of it is not inspired by the church, but the setting is inspired by that church. The sea also plays a massive part in my writing, which I'm sure you can see why, having seen where I grew up. And I thought I would mention quickly that my short story collection is coming out in paperback next month. So that is The Beginning of the World in the Middle of the Night, and this is the paperback cover that we've gone for. It's lighter than the hardback cover. We went for a lighter cover for summer. And if you haven't read it, and if you're new to this channel and perhaps don't know that I write books, that is my job. Hello, welcome. All of the details of my books are in the description box down below. But if you haven't picked up a copy of The Beginning of the World in the Middle of the Night, it would be amazing if you could pre-order a copy of the paperback. Pre-orders really help authors and are rather important. If you're in the UK, Australia and New Zealand, you can pre-order at your local bookshop. If you're outside of those places, you can purchase on the Book Depository with free international shipping, or from my website where I ship worldwide as well. You can also find it in all of the usual places online. Links are in the description box down below. I'll link the blurb as well if you would like to find out more about the book too. That's everything, I think. I will link Educated by Tara Westover in the description box too, as well as The Thing of the Shore. I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and I'll film more reading and walking vlogs in the future. Lots of bookish love. Bye.